So this week's update, we're on about week 14 now, I think, of myself and my daughter Lacey's journey into screen acting. So I've made a few notes of what we can report back this week. So roles wise, we haven't got any new roles this week, but I'm really actually enjoying, I never thought I'd say that, I'm enjoying learning lines for the role that I've got at the moment. I think last week I might have talked about using mnemonics where you write out the first letter of each word in your script. That was really helping. This week I've gone with chunking. I think I had a bit of a sarcastic comment on one of my shorts about this. They break it down, that seems really obvious. But I think it's about where you break it down into chunks. So I was just using the punctuation, the commas, the full stops, etc. and writing it out more like a poem. And actually that really helped me spot patterns in the work. So previously I would have thought about this sort of Stanislavski wise, like units and objectives, and breaking down the character's train of thought, you know, their objective, what they're trying to achieve. And so instead of thinking about it academically to start with, I just literally, like I said, chunked it down. Especially this works really well for bigger parts like monologues or bigger chunks. Just using the punctuation and then looked at it like that, read it like that. Punctuation's there for a reason after all. But it allowed me to spot patterns. Like I said, it looks more like a poem. So if there's any repetition in the rhythm or what was their repetition in the sounds of the words, then you could like the assonance and the sibilance and stuff like that. You can really pick it out, or at least I could, looking at it like this, rather than, and I see this in students sometimes when they learn a piece of dialogue, you can tell that they've learnt it as it's printed and they've almost got breaks at the end of the line. When you've got the monologue in front of you and they are performing the monologue to you, you can see that it's sort of broken at the end of the line. Sometimes this happens with Shakespeare as well, where there's not punctuation at the end of the line and they don't sort of run the line in. So I wonder if my brain was falling into the trap of kind of stopping at the end of a line that's printed on the page. This way, you only put a return in. So I typed them out. I was going to write it out because actually I think that's quite good for the brain as well. But it doesn't fit very well on the page and it didn't look as neat. So typing it out, again, it also, that helped it go into my brain. But as I said, seeing it like a poem, chunked down like that, and spotting the patterns, the rhythm, any repetition. Sometimes you'll find words are repeated in a particular order. Yeah, I really liked this and it really seemed to click for my brain. So that's chunking for your lines if you want to use that. Again, I'd love to hear if you use that or similar, or you know what works well for you for learning lines. I really wanted, for me, the line learning process not to be just about memorizing. I wanted it to have meaning for the character. And I find this, if it makes sense to you and it makes sense that the character should be having that train of thought, then it's definitely easier. So for me, the chunking helped me make sense of bits that perhaps weren't clicking with me as quickly as other bits. I hope that makes sense. I hope that's useful. So that's line learning, and actually I've been really enjoying doing it that way. I'm going to go and do some more in a moment. Lacey's new theatre school is going really, really well. I'm very impressed with their organisation, how welcoming they were, how enthusiastic she is about it. They're going to run auditions already next week. Again, that's really good practice for her to be going in and auditioning, because so far, you know, everything she's done has been self-tapes. So to actually be doing in-person auditions will really, really help her. She's also working on her festivals at the moment. So she's going to enter a festival with a monologue and a duologue. And actually it turns out her friend that was doing the duologue with her is away for the actual date. So she's roped in another dance friend, which is brilliant. Just so happens that she's 2 years older than Lacey. So it means they have to go in a category 2 years above. But again, it's no bad thing. Okay, it might be a little bit harder to win the festival, but it's not all about the winning. It actually means she's going to see other work from year sixes in that competition class. So I think that's a good thing for her. And she still gets to go in her proper age range for her monologue. So she's working hard on those. Again, memorizing the lines for her really didn't seem a problem. at all. And actually I would say her character's coming across a little bit more mature now. We haven't worked on it for weeks. It goes to show sometimes a rest is good for the brain and the body. Haven't worked on her monologue for a little while, worked on it yesterday, and actually it had a deeper level, whether she's just grown up by a couple of weeks, but it seemed to have a deeper level of understanding. It was smoother. She seemed to be really enjoying it, so that's progressing nicely, ready for March. Spotlight, yay, they accepted me, which was nice, and I was very happy that my drama degree from 20 years ago seemed to pass and allow me into Spotlight, which was great. So I'm seeing a lot of the more highly paid jobs now, lots of adverts as well. I remember an actor saying this to me, you know, for every gritty role you get 10 or 15 cheesy adverts, but they're your bread and butter, and you know, they keep you going and keep you financed. So I've applied for plenty of those and some other more gritty roles as well. Actually declined a self-tape, which made me feel quite proud. Don't feel, as an actor, again, you may have a different opinion on this, don't feel you just have to take every job. I was asked to self-tape for something, and looking into it in more detail, it would have taken quite a lot of my time because it would involve writing it myself, which I have nothing against. I'm writing some screenplays with a friend at the moment. I'm really, really enjoying that. But this piece was very low paying. You would need to write it yourself, and also it would be filmed yourself and then streamed. And I thought, well, okay, it's low pay. It's not going to further my show reel because, you know, it's not going to look flashy and well produced because it would just be myself producing it, and I'm quite busy with the roles I've already got. So I actually said no to this one, and it felt good. I felt a bit nervous to say no. I was very polite. The person was very polite back. I think they appreciate you saying no thank you rather than just leaving them hanging, just as we would the other way around. I've had some really nice feedback and some letdowns as well as, you know, callbacks. And I appreciate it. It's nice to know, okay, if they've got time. I know some casting directors are just inundated for projects, and it's totally understandable that they can't get back to you. But if they can, it's actually quite nice to know you just weren't quite right this time. We've gone a different way. And then you can, you know, not bother thinking about that one anymore and keep going and moving on. And so I'm pleased to be seeing lots of jobs on Spotlight. Hopefully I'll have more to report on some success there in the not too distant future. The mini monologue challenge we didn't do this month. I think the deadline has passed, but we're going to look out for that and do that again. But yeah, it was a busy old time of year and didn't quite get around to doing that one. But as I said, Lacey's working on a monologue and a duologue at the moment. Anyway, I keep looking at my notes. That's what that's about. That's everything I wanted to report, really. So in summary, no new roles, but enjoying the roles that we've got. New theatre school's going really well. I'm on Spotlight. Hopefully I'll have more to report on that. And that, in my opinion, it's okay to turn down work or offers for work if it's not right for you at that time for any reason. I would love to know your opinions on that and any tips online learning as well and what works well for you. Thank you very much for watching. Bye.